Look, it's Sandy Claus. Claus.
What did I tell you about puns?
Hey, you're in luck. I got a donut remover right here.
Welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Sequel. This is the movie podcast where we're talking sequels and we do it in two parts. The first, an interview with an actor or someone involved that made the film worth watching. And the second, a discussion of the sequel, what they got right, what they got wrong, and how it could have been better. Really hope you enjoyed a few weeks ago or the last interview that we did with Antonio Sabato Jr., a guy whose face that everyone knows, whether it be on soaps, movies, reality TV shows. He wants to box, Logan Paul and Jake Paul, which would be amazing.
I'd watch that.
Man, great chat, great story about him coming to, over from Italy and just the challenges of learning the language and living right in LA because his father was an actor. Awesome chat. And then last week, because I was under the weather, I hope you enjoyed Jack Frost too, if you tuned in for that. Wow. Just think about those little the people with the puppets. Joe Castro, which we found out like right after that, he was manipulating those little snowballs early in his career, which is so cool. But yeah, so then for Antonio Sabato, he had a really funny role in the sequel that we're covering. And we usually want to cover sequels that are like two, or we know right away. Three Stooges is a little loose. They did obviously make movies in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. So it's a continuation of those. And before I talk about how great the Three Stooges are, because I went back and watched some of the old ones, I got to introduce you to the Mo of our podcast, Jamie Riccardi. Jamie, how are you?
The Mo? I don't know about
like
that,
Mo?
but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know which character. I mean, you're probably more like the Larry.
Mary F. Kill. Just that's pretty serious.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good, man. I love the Three Stooges. It is insane how much that they bring me joy. Like thinking of being a kid, Saturday mornings, watching them for like an hour. How great.
They were so ahead of their time. I mean, their comedy. I mean, and I saw an interview how they do some of the slapstick, of the, biting on the tongue and poking in the eyes, like, they poke in the forehead, they poke in
yep.
And so it's like they really were ahead of their time. And I agree. I absolutely love them. Abbott and Costello, Marx Brothers, like those. I feel like back then the comedy was just was genius. Like the writing for everything they did was great. And I have mixed feelings about this movie. I think some of the people crushed it, and some,
yeah.
Okay. And I'll tell you who really crushed it. The three kids. When they were kids.
Oh my God, yes.
I mean, the mannerisms of these kids were on point. Like they really were. I thought they were amazing.
Skylar Giozzo, he's in so much. He's in The Binge. He was the son in the Vacation movie that they did with Ed Helms and Christina Applegate. And he was on Santa Clarita Diet. He's in a ton of stuff. He's a great actor. And he was a great Mo. Like those scenes were amazing.
Wait, you talking about the kids, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think all of them, the Curly was great. I mean, even the Larry. Yeah. I mean, the Larry, just the hair, like it was amazing. I mean, they were great. And I'll tell you, Sasso, I think he crushed it. Sasso, listen, the other two were, they had moments, I mean,
I love Mo. I didn't, if I had to choose the worst out of them was Larry, because to me, Larry, he does have a whiny voice in the old movies, but I just didn't like him doing it. I don't know. Maybe because I see him as Will and Grace, and Will Sasso, obviously I see him as, Mad TV, all these characters that he could play. But I don't think of him something else, just like Chris Diamopoulos.
Correct.
I don't think of him as a certain character, but with, what's his name? Will and Grace guy. I have the IMDb up. Sean Hayes. I think of Will and Grace. I think of that show and
of course,
him as that character.
Of course.
He gave it 100% effort. Not an easy thing to do, you know?
It's not. And again, I just think because Will Sasso was like if you close your eyes, you think you're seeing Curly. Like his impression of Curly, he sounded like Curly. Like so, like he was so good that I think the other two, it was hard to compete with that, right? I think that was it. And I think if it was on the if it wasn't someone that was so good at one of them, I think maybe it would have been an even playing field. But because he really, to me, he stole the show. But
yeah, he's so good.
Do you know who almost played Curly?
Oh, dude, I was at to pull that up. Crazy, right?
The three of them. You know the three actors, right? That were supposed to.
Oh no, the only one that I read about was Jim Carrey.
Okay. So Jim Carrey, and I remember this when this movie came out. You know, because I had to do a little research after, but Jim Carrey, and he started putting on weight to play it, but I forget why he didn't do it.
He didn't want to go. No, because at 40 pounds, he didn't look big enough. So he wanted to put another 30 on, but he was worried about the health risks.
Well, Sean Penn was supposed to be Larry.
Yes, dude. Sean,
and
yeah.
Benicio del Toro was supposed to be Mo.
I know. That would have so.
But I can see
so hard of him.
He wouldn't have been, because he would have had the accent, so it wouldn't have got. But I can totally see. First of all, Jim Carrey would have crushed it, and I can see Sean Penn as Larry, because what movie was it where he played the lawyer with the crazy hair? With Al Pacino. Was it Al Pacino? I forgot. Like Sean Penn, I think could have done Larry, without a doubt. So I think Jim Carrey and Sean Penn would have been great.
That would have been really interesting.
Yeah, I know. But what a weird three, right? That were supposed to be in the movie, and they all dropped out.
There's another list. Another three is Johnny Knoxville as Mo, what? Andy Samberg as Larry, and I'm guessing Shane Jacobson. Who's Shane Jacobson?
I don't like that mix. I don't. I mean, listen. What's his name? Is Mo on Jackass? I mean, he's always slapping everybody, and he's always like, he's kind of. But I just can't see it. I mean, I don't
even know who this guy is. That's weird.
That
he's an Australian comedian. I've never seen him before. Ever. Oh, he's on Top Gear. I don't know, but yeah.
Well, good. Good that he picked him. But I think Will Sasso crushed it. So
yeah.
Okay. So this movie, and I know it didn't do well, and I know it got some bad reviews. There definitely were some funny scenes.
Which is crazy. Yeah.
However, and I know the timing of the movie came out when a show was popular, but man, what a bad choice later on in the movie.
Oh, I know, but no.
Yes. I think it ruins it. It's just so.
Really, I enjoyed it because I almost I forgot about that show because they were still around and still doing stuff, and I just thought it was funny watching them try to go with the.
No, I know, but they were just so. I don't know, because they're not actors, and there's. Listen, they shouldn't even be on TV and in the first place, and then they're in this movie as a big part of it. Really, I get the whole third half. It just, I don't know. Anyway, all right. But there are some funny scenes and weird cameos. At least some weird cameos.
Dude, how about because I think at first, Richard Jenkins was supposed to play Larry David's role as the nun. Man, he probably loved the Stooges so much. I'm sure he's a fan of the Farrelly brothers. And just think about how the pacing of this movie and the music in this movie, I think that's why those guys are phenomenal. Even the one running bit in this movie that I love is every time they're about to talk about adoption, which is funny that they're still at the orphanage after they're adults. But even at the very end, when it was we want to adopt, and they rip their clothes off and the music changes and they start doing a routine. The comedic pacing of this movie is great.
There is. Now, I do have one question though, and either they got it wrong, or I've been wrong all this time. I always thought they were brothers.
They're not?
Well, they said these three friends or something like that. They mentioned in the beginning of the movie. They said something about friends. And what did they say?
They got thrown in the same duffel bag when that person
did. But he mentioned something like these something friends, that they're friends or something, and that threw me off because I wrote down friends or brothers. So like I
Oh,
always
yeah.
thought they were brothers, but maybe listen, I don't when you watch the old movies, they
Oh,
don't
you know
really
what?
talk.
No, they're not brothers, right? Because
I don't know.
what is their names? Mo Howard, Curly
Oh.
Howard, Larry Fine.
Okay, Mo Howard, Curly Howard. So they're brothers.
They're brothers.
So
That's
maybe the two
Larry
of them are
Fine.
brothers and one's a friend. Yeah.
So Larry's
Okay.
the friend.
Okay, so Larry's the oddball out.
Yeah.
Larry's my mom's favorite, and we always make fun of her because, like, I mean, look, you ask anybody, everybody loves Curly. You know,
That
Curly's
is
the
true,
Kramer.
yeah.
Curly's the Kramer. Like everybody, like, but my mom loves Larry, and we're like, Larry's the most serious. Like he's like the worst one, but I mean, he is funny in the scenes because he's so serious. But he is the third. He's the third wheel. You know, because I mean, Mo's interaction with Curly is the best.
So good.
It is good.
But when we see Larry David at the orphanage, and then we get the car coming up, I know it's a comedy, but the way the guy who's like, I guess the dad is throwing the baby out the window, you see the duffel bag fly out barely, like the guy could probably barely get out of that passenger window, really far away, and then it lands like really hard and like right in the
perfect spot, and yeah, I mean, and the way the babies look.
Oh,
like,
and the babies didn't make any sounds landing on concrete. And they just opened up like sunlight. Like they've been in that bag for a long time.
You know that guy probably kept them in a bag in their house as well.
Yeah.
You know, now do you think he where's the mom? Like, do you think that he just took them in the middle of the night, didn't tell the mom, and just, listen, we got to get rid of them?
Yeah. They won't shut up. I got to go pick up a sixer. Yeah, like how did he get two of those kids? Like, if two of them are brothers and the other one's a friend, what that other lady that said, "Hey, you watch my kid for tonight? I got a date. Can you watch Larry?" And then Larry gets thrown in the bag.
See, I would love to see like Larry's dad, with the same hair. Wait, how about the running joke that Larry David keeps saying about Larry with the kid? How long has he been going? How long has he been going through chemo or something?
Yeah.
I mean, the kid. The kid had Larry hair as a. First of all, they explain that at all? Like, why is he bald as a kid? Because I mean, and again, those three kids. To me, I can watch a whole movie. If they did a prequel of like the Three Stooges as like adolescents, those three kids could have made a movie, and I think they would have been great because they literally. I mean, the manner, like they were perfect, and the look. I mean, the hair for Larry for the kid. Like, ridiculous.
I think that's the funniest part about the joke. As a kid, you think, oh, he just went balding older. And then when we first saw it, and it was balding.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, I think when you watch these old movies, you're like, all right, one's completely bald. One has like the spinning hair. And then the other one has, is what is that? Is that like a reverse mullet that Larry has?
No, Larry just has a cul-de-sac, like a
but it's high hair though. It's like bows. So it's like bows. And okay, which by the way, his hair changes length in this movie a few times. Like at the end of the movie, it gets shorter. It gets smaller. Like no explanation. He's
definitely not getting haircuts. The way they live and they live in society.
Well,
they just find a dumpster.
Why are they so like? They don't explain. Like, they grew up in the same orphanage as these other kids. How come no one else aged but them?
They're different kids. They're not the same kid.
No, not the kids. The adults.
Like Jane Lynch.
I mean,
Jane Lynch didn't change, and that was 25 years. Yeah,
Jennifer Hudson didn't change, and Larry David. They all look exactly the same, but yet somehow 30 years later. These kids are grown up. They should be, because they were old. If you think about it, Jane Lynch, say, like, with the habit on and everything, and Larry David, they got to be in their 80s now as they got older. 30 years later, let's just give them a benefit of the doubt. They were 50 back then, or even 40. You're going to tell they've gained 30 years. It's not a change.
And then hot blondes in this movie. Justin Verlander, the pitcher for the Astros, now the Giants.
What's her name?
Kate. She's Kate Upton.
Upton.
She plays this sexy nun at the end of the movie. She's like in lingerie, working at the pool.
Well, I mean, considering that you have like 4 different types of nuns. I mean, between Larry David, which, you know what? I think he crushes it. I mean, like, it's such an odd choice to have Larry David as a woman nun, like a nun, but his voice, like he sounded like such a Jewish woman, like the way he was trying to do it. It was very funny. Like, I think like he just, and the fact that he like they always picked on him. Like, it was like he's the one that had the problem. Like Larry David, he's he's good with the comebacks and everything else, but not slapstick. But his whole role was all slapstick.
Oh my god! And then the first thing that open up when he opens up the duffel bag, sees the kids' faces. Then he gets an eye poke. It sends him to the bushes. And then you hear something that almost sounds illegal when Jane Lynch comes out, looks at the babies, and all the nuns run down, and they're like, "Oh, I want to give them a bath." They're so excited to like touch these kids. I want to feed them. I want to bathe them. And then cut to 10 years later, and it's like, I'm not bathing them.
I mean, but like at that point, whose fault is it? I mean, if you have these 3 babies and you're raising them and they're misbehaving, whose fault is it at that point?
That is true. Yeah. They're just not born. There are obviously some kids that are born, their habits are formed. There's nature and nurture, but yeah, they're not going to be like these guys who assault each other.
100%. Like, they're not the brightest bulbs. So, like, are they not teaching them? Because all the other kids, again, all the other kids are well behaved except for these 3. So what are they doing differently? Unless are you telling me they were just born with evil, violent tendencies? Okay,
just trying to kill people. I'm gonna rip his nose off. I'm gonna slam their heads together. Like,
they do a lot of
them.
They do a lot of like armpit and nose hair pulling.
Yeah.
I mean, that's gotta hurt.
I don't know. Well, what hurts more, the fact that it gets pulled out, or when he shows it to him, like right in his face, like this, you're never gonna have this again. Like I got
and
it.
He seemed very upset about it.
Yeah, he did. Oh, dude. How about, I always think in the movies, there's not too many I can reference all the time. I had, obviously, Problem Child. Like, the adoption process in movies is like the worst thing. And I know this guy he's a total creep and in prison, the dad from 7th Heaven.
Yeah.
Who plays the father in this. But he did play this role really good. There's a few movies, I'm trying to think of the other one, but he played like the opposite of what he was in 7th Heaven. So it was like kind of this like funny swerve. But dude, when they're trying to pawn the Stooges off, like they're like the only kids, and then Teddy comes in the room, and when he goes to Teddy and says, "Can you let Mo know that we're gonna die?"
That was, you know what? That is such a Farrelly Brothers type of line, like because I mean, like it threw me off. And the way that, because and you hear them, I don't know if there was music next to it or like it was just like a sentimental kind of thing. Teddy's all excited. And why do you think he picked Mo out of all of them? Because they were all standing there. They're all like, what do you think about? I mean, the fact that Mo looks like he's a 40-year-old man as a 10-year-old.
The king of the lollipop guild. That's what he looks like. But maybe because he had like some kind of attitude, and he's a lawyer, and maybe he's like, I can maybe turn this kid. But dude, when they're in the car and these people adopt a kid at 10 years old, thinking like, oh, this is gonna be like the easiest thing. This would be great. We'll have one of them. We'll do this, blah blah. And she's like, today's your birthday. What's one present you want? And he whispers, I want my 2 friends to be here too. They're like, whoa, dude, whoa.
and for like and that went back a few times, and then. Like, again, I totally, I saw this movie years ago, so I forgot about it.
Yeah.
So I thought he was literally going back and it's going to be like, all right, this guy's going to adopt all 3 of them and it's going to be chaos at the house. Like, I didn't expect the turn of events that happened. Like, I totally forgot.
Just take me. Just take me. Just take.
Oh my gosh. And again, back to, the armpit or the nose hair, like he said, he wanted to take something to remind him of them. And he takes the nose hair. Like, of all the things, that's what he wants to hold on to.
Hey, Dad, what's that in your drawer? What's that in that jar? I was in an orphanage and I wanted to remember my friend, so I ripped his nose hair.
Dude, 10-year-olds have like a lot of nose hair?
Yeah, I hope not. I think if you have a lot of nose hair, there's something going on. You should get checked out.
Okay.
I don't even know a lot yet. I barely have a little. I would hope there's not a kid developing its own nose hair.
Do you know
That'd
that
be
when
like
I
a
was
Maury
younger?
Povich. That'd be like an old school Ricky Lake episode. It'd be like, "Hi, I'm 10 and I have a lot of nose hair."
Well, then you would have the next one of like my secret obsession, and it'd be a guy that collects a guy that collects nose hair. And then you
And
see
they get
Mo.
married. He's picking her up. Yeah. Oh my god, dude.
Man.
But yeah, that was so funny when he and then the first thing they want to do, there's so many great lines in this movie. When he comes back, and they're like, "Hey, Mo, you're back." And he goes, "Let's go start a small brush fire and whiz it out." Amazing.
Ridiculous.
God.
That's really ridiculous.
And then I wrote, so now we get like a thing on the screen 25 years later. And the first thing I was like laughing so hard. I'm like, they still live here at 35?
So again, I 25 years later, yeah. So they're 35. You gotta assume Larry David's got to be 85 at this point. Like they're still working there. How about that? They're still like they're still nuns, but yeah, they're still living
this is
there.
35 years after the bag drop.
Yes. Well, no,
insane.
it's no, yeah. 35 years.
So
No,
35
it's
years old.
No, it's 25 years later. I got you. Okay, I was thinking there was 35 years plus the 10 years, where they were already 10 years. All right, gotcha. My math is off. That's okay. So let me ask you this. So, knowing that they're troublemakers in everything they do, why are they constantly given things to do?
Oh my god, dude. The tasks that they're giving that are like, "Hey, let's go climb on this roof. Let's go fix this window." Like they would know how to do that.
But again, these are kids that perform surgery, or do whatever, like such bad stuff. Wouldn't you give them like all right, just sweep the hallways? Like, no, climb onto this high tower, or building and do like the most dangerous things or they're trying to kill them and they're like, all right, maybe this one will work. Maybe we'll lose
Maybe
one
they'll
of them.
die today. Oh yeah, we glanced over the Larry David when they were kids when they knocked her out on a table.
Yeah.
And had her duct tape. And when they were about to catch her, they flipped the table. And he was upside down.
I forgot about that. So how'd they make that?
Table? That wouldn't be a table that is normally anywhere. Because
it wouldn't be in an orphanage.
Table.
That's for sure. Yeah, it wouldn't be in an orphanage. So like those kids came up with that. So as dumb as they are, they can create a table that flips over so it looks like nothing's going on. Like the hidden,
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh my god. And then Curly, dude, like they're again so funny so much this movie I love. But when he goes up with the chainsaw, when he puts it on his waist, and he clips it, and while he's going up, no, he's holding it, right? He's dangling his arm, and while he's going up, it's cutting the ladder.
No. So he, first of all, why he started it before he got up there is beyond me. But he starts it, he clips it to his belt, so it was on like a rope. It was like somehow, so it was dangling from him, and he wasn't holding it. It was dangling as he was climbing up. But as it was dangling, it was cutting all the ring or whatever. What is it? The rungs on the ladder. So yeah. But why did he start it before he even got up there?
That's so funny.
Okay. And what were they doing up there? What was their job?
I think they were like supposed to fix like the bell, but for some reason they went on the outside instead of going inside, which I'm sure there's access to the bell.
But if they're trying to fix the bell, why is he bringing a chainsaw?
I don't know. Well, he told me to get the chainsaw because remember he was going to start bashing in the screen that was covering it, and he started breaking it, and then they were going to use the chainsaw and cut into it, and then what? And then fill that area?
Okay, so again, you're at an orphanage where you have these three maniacs that are just, I mean, I can't imagine a day that doesn't go by that something happens, right, with these three.
Oh.
I mean, or not even a day, I would say multiple times a day, something happens. Would you allow access to a chainsaw?
No, they wouldn't be able to use a fork and knife.
No. Or they're like, all right, let's give him the chainsaw. Like, let's give him the most dangerous tool to use, and maybe one of them might Because I would think if they lose one of them, they don't act the same.
To die.
Right? No, yeah, okay. So let's say Larry dies. I don't know if I don't think Mo and Curly are going to have the same. Like it would be different. Like because they need Larry to kind of after they go after each other, they need to slide it over to Larry for a little bit, right? You know. Yeah. So I can't imagine the slapstick being the same if Larry's not there, and vice versa. Like if when Mo wasn't there, they seemed so sad and upset, like nothing was going on. So I think maybe the nuns are thinking, all right, listen, if we could somehow get rid of one of them, they might act normal.
Yeah. Which one, the most expendable one is Larry? Do you think if they for them to have a good relationship, I guess maybe Larry and Curly could commiserate because they get beat up by Mo a lot.
They do. However, I do think Mo's the smartest one because he seems to have,
easily.
He seems to, I mean, and that's not saying much, but I feel like I would say Curly has the most ideas, but his ideas are usually so bonkers, where I think Mo has at least a little bit more, if we had to go for stupidity, I would say it would be Mo, Larry, Curly. Curly definitely is the dumbest one. But I do think he's the most creative one because he can come up with any kind of tool for any job and he'll make it work somehow. Who's the one that couldn't read? Who's the one that read donut?
I think it was Larry. He said,
Larry. Okay.
It's a donut remover.
Yeah.
That's why this place is getting shut down and kids aren't being adopted. They can't read. They'd probably be like, all right, I'll adopt you if you can read this. And then they can't read.
They're not teaching them.
Sentence.
That's 100%. They're not doing their job. They're not teaching them. I mean, so, okay. So what is a donut remover?
No, wouldn't that be a hand or a claw on some kind of conveyor belt that removes the donut from it? What else would it be?
Okay.
But it got him excited. He was like, I'm gonna pull this.
It did get excited. But yeah.
Then we get Larry David right after this. He actually uses a Geico joke. There's a Geico joke in this movie. So he's doing a paid advertising, or I guess because that was when it was because he says the Geico gecko.
This movie is a movie of the times and tries to use what was relevant. But see, that's a problem with doing that because when you watch the movie 25 years later, it's so stupid. When you try to use the relevant, it's like using Max Headroom in a scene. All right, great. But most people are not going to know who Max Headroom is. So it was great back then when the movie came out. But 30 years later, no one's going to know. So same thing with Jersey Shore. They were obviously very popular back then.
Yeah.
So it's funny seeing them because everybody was loving the show because that's obviously they made money. But watching it now, 25 years later, these losers are in this movie. It
is really crazy. But I just think it's funny that Mo is hitting them. If he was just in with them and it was a normal episode, they were going to bars, trying to hook up with girls, but none of the contact. But when he gets JWoww to follow the hand and then he goes into the table and she smacks her head, I'm like, this is amazing.
See, I'm on the opposite side. I'm like, this is so stupid. What do you
mean he puts Ron's head in a microwave and turns it on and then at the end, his eyes blow up?
Okay, his actions are funny, but the people that he's doing it to are not. And that's what it is. So to me, yes, if you had, I would have almost rather seen a real world without even having real people. Just joining, they should have done Real World, MTV, and just have a bunch of people living in a house. Fine, I'm okay with that because then he just fits in. Here it's the Jersey Shore. They're so stupid and trash. And to see him in this movie, it's I can't.
Yeah.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouthwatering meals. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices. Plus, extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with points. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
All right.
So now they have to, they figure out that The orphanage needs to raise $830,000. And how about Brian Doyle Murray, our second Brian Doyle Murray movie in as many months? He has a pretty good role. He's attacked.
Was it?
Yeah.
I mean, and first of all, he looked old. Like, I mean, he definitely
Yeah, he did look really old. And
he
I
looked
feel
old.
like, I wonder what else he's been in since then. But yeah, no, he definitely looked old.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, he ripped out his armpit hair. I mean, again, I wonder if that works in a fight. Like, if you're about to fight someone, and you go up and they're wearing a tank top and they're trying to, start with you, go in there, rip out their armpit hair. Like,
Is it that easy? Is it that easy
I
to
don't
rip
think
it out?
so. Hold on.
Is it?
Well, they make it look easy because you hear the ripping sound and they do it. I mean, I don't even think nose hair is easy, and somehow he gets a clump every time. So I think if you grab someone's armpit hair, I think it's like pulling their. It's almost probably harder than pulling hair out of your head. I think armpit hair is in there.
Yeah,
it's deep rooted.
Easier to do: rip a phone book or pull armpit hair out.
We got to ask Mark. Was that his name?
Mark is back at church. He's back working there, which is crazy. But yeah, no, crazy. Ripping phone. No, the armpit.
But I mean, do you think ripping armpit is that? I think it's deep rooted. I think armpit hair. I wonder if it's got to be like, I don't know. I just feel like it's almost like, think about it. Like, I think it would be hard to do.
I feel like you wouldn't be able to. I feel like you'd rip the hair would break in half before it come out of the root.
Break.
Yeah,
your hair's not gonna break.
You think it would only come out one strand? It wouldn't snap the hair in it.
Wait, no. It's either gonna come out all the way or it's not gonna come out at all. I think if you grabbed it and you gave one hard pull, I don't think it's coming out.
It's painful just thinking about it.
It is painful thinking about it.
Yeah. I pulled it, even when you're mad, you pull on your hair, you grab your hair, what was I thinking? And you pull on that a little bit. That hurts.
It does hurt. So you know what? Next time you're mad, instead of pulling your hair, try pulling your armpit hair and see what happens.
Yeah. Look in the food store. Oh, I wish that was on sale.
Okay.
So now we get them. Dude, again, another Farrelly Brothers joke that killed me. When they were sitting in the tandem bikes and they were waiting for the car to come and they throw the hook and the bike falls over on the side and just gets dragged. Oh my God, dude. That killed me.
It's funny. I feel like the jokes in this movie were closer to like a Mel Brooks than Farrelly Brothers. Because they're really it really wasn't Farrelly Brothers has that gross humor, the that kind of humor. And there was none of that in this movie, really. It was more cornball kind of humor, like Men in Tights kind of stuff. And I feel like it was very Mel Brooksy kind of, humor.
Yeah, no, I can see that. But there's definitely the elements that you see in all the other Farrelly, like the
there are some of it.
The
yeah, there are. I mean, but there was there's always that one kind of gross scene, and I feel like there wasn't anything in this one. I think was this movie at the end of their career, towards the end?
Well, I think they're still doing stuff, but yeah, this is. You gotta think. I don't know what their first one. I think they're probably the first big hit was probably Dumb and Dumber. I think around that time.
They're still making movies?
Yeah, I'm sure they are. I feel like they just did something not too long ago. Let's see.
Oh, I can't tell you the last time I saw a Farrelly Brothers movie.
Did they do Sonic the Hedgehog?
Wait.
No,
they didn't do Sonic.
Directing wise, they did. Oh, Dear Santa. That's where I just saw their name. That was a good movie. That was a good. The Jack Black Christmas movie. I thought that was
the new one.
Good. Yeah. It was funny. What else? Louder Milk. The show. Dumb and Dumber 2. They did. Oh yeah. After this, they did Dumb and Dumber 2.
Wait. Dumb and Dumber 2 TOO. Wait. Was
T-O.
Not the prequel.
Not
sequel.
the prequel. The one that came out in 2014.
Okay.
And then they did Champions. And they're doing a sequel to that. That's the Woody Harrelson.
Oh, that's the Woody Harrelson. Yeah.
Yeah. So that just
I didn't see that one. Was that good?
I didn't see it. I want to see it because I saw the speech that Woody.
So did I. And the kids were all excited. Cool. That was awesome.
Yeah.
No, I saw that.
Very cool. But yeah, no. There, I agree. There is definitely that Mel Brooksy. But to see them hook onto the truck and the bike just falls over,
and they stayed on, man. And they were just being dragged all the time. That's well, their way of transportation, their use of transportation throughout the movie is very different than the average person.
That is true. But I love the episode breaks because they wanted to do that to pay homage to the old ones. So like, I love how perfect they go to that. You get the music, and then we get, how does Craig Berko do this, man? He's always getting, there's another movie he gets with a really beautiful woman, but him and Sofia Vergara are like smooching.
Yeah. I was very surprised to see her in this. Because I she's not in too many movies. And so
but she was a big part of the advertising for this. Modern Family was huge at this point.
Of course. So that's why. So, but I mean, you know what? I think Phil Dunphy could have been Mo.
Maybe. But again, I couldn't see him as anything but Phil Dunphy. That's when you have a character that's so good.
Yeah, I know.
It's even like Ed O'Neill. Like, I love Ed O'Neill in other roles, but I think, that's Al Bundy. Like even his role in Wayne's World.
But he did a good job in Modern Family. He was a completely different type of character.
Oh, no, that's different. I'm saying like movie-wise, like when I watch Dutch, I'm like, that's Al Bundy.
Yeah.
You know? Even though it's a great movie, I love the movie.
Yeah.
But but in so much, it's like, that's who I see. And so it's like one of those curses. Obviously, people are still good and stuff.
Yeah.
Because even like when you see Ty Burrell, when you see him in the Muppets sequel, the most recent Muppets movie, he plays like the French detective.
Yeah.
He's great at that. So no.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh man, dude. So now we get what a chaotic scene. So we get to this point that they're looking for somebody that can kill her husband, which as an audience, we don't know who it is yet. And they're looking at Mo, Larry, and Curly on the street.
What were they advertising? They were
they were selling no, that was when they were like, we'll do anything for $830,000.
Oh, that's what it was, right? Yeah.
Later is when they're selling the ice cream.
Yeah. Okay.
With a KREM.
Right. Okay. So wait, when they were saying that they were going to try to kill the husband, first of all, this was a little confusing because like because she didn't know who her husband was, and like I didn't know who this guy was. Like I actually was a little confused at this point of like what they're talking about, like what's going on. But yeah, their interaction, like the fact that they saw them and they're looking for exactly the same amount of money that $800.
Yeah. And they were amazed that they could read the sign, that they knew what the sign said. But dude, the chaos that when I don't think a place would, like an outdoor shop would leave a bow and arrow set outside. That was cool because that paid off like 5 minutes later when he shot the air.
And you're right. Like, why was it? I mean, I could see him maybe leaving the bow out, to leave both the bow and the arrow out. Like,
So you're in charge of murder. If something happens, that's on you. You just can't be leaving that stuff out.
It's definitely on you.
Yeah. But I do love they did like the Fletch angle, right? Like, oh no, I'm the husband. It's me. I want you to kill me. I'll be on my sleep. It'll be dark. Or just smother me with a pillow. And it's like, oh man. And dude, when frigging Kirk just bumps him into the bus and then does like a whoop whoop. It's like, what?
You know what it reminded me of? I don't know if you've ever seen this movie. Do you ever see the movie The End with Burt Reynolds and
oh no.
It's Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise. And so Burt Reynolds, I think, thinks he's he has some kind of cancer or something, I forget why, but he asked Dom DeLuise to kill him. I think he's either in a psychiatric center, both of them. So he starts trying to kill him and find different ways, but then Burt Reynolds decides to change his mind. Like he gets there.
Oh my God.
But Dom DeLuise still tries to, go after him. Oh, yeah, I can't believe you've never seen it.
Even when he tells him, I don't want to die, he still tries to kill him?
Yes,
oh,
yes,
I gotta watch that.
So, and then every time if I remember correctly, like he has a gun or like either Burt Reynolds backs out because he's too afraid, but he wants, it's called The End. Yeah. I saw it as a kid. So, I mean, I might be off on some things, but I remember that, that kind of like similar to this movie where, they're trying to kill him, but they keep going after the wrong person. And it's like something major happens to him every single time.
That's amazing. I got to check that out.
Yeah.
So Craig Berko now is on the ground. He gets pogoed on. And then the arrow finally falls from the sky and gets him in the leg.
I gotta tell you, the pogo made me uncomfortable. I mean, I imagine the pain of a pogo stick getting jumped on you is awful.
Yeah. So amazing. And how does Sofia Vergara not feel 3 men riding on the back of the car? She didn't stop once or look behind her. Like she had no interest in looking in the.
Well, she was at this point. She was in panic mode. So at this point, yeah. So she was rushing back. But like I said, like how somehow they really get around without any. They don't even have any money. Like they don't have any money at all.
No money,
right? Like
none.
Like the nuns didn't give them any money to. I think the nuns are like, all right, they're gonna fail tremendously, so just send them out there, and we'll probably never see them again, right? Like, so somehow they get by without any money throughout this movie. Yet they somehow could get equipment and everything they need without money.
Yeah, and then they're very resourcul,
very
money.
resourceful. That's
they're
a good
at stealing. That'd be a good movie. Like that, it was almost like that movie with I can't think, Richard Gere when he's the lawyer, Primal Fear. But with the Stooges at the end of the movie, they turn into like very smart guys, and they're very educated, and they were just like
that was a nice
twist.
That would be a great twist. They're Harvard grads, and they're like sitting in their office with their feet on the table. Like, yeah,
that'd be a hilarious sketch. That'd be a really great sketch.
That would be good. That's funny.
SNL. That'd be like a Mad TV sketch that Sasso would have been in.
Yeah.
Now, is this the part? I think I didn't write notes for this. Is this the zoo scene like right after this?
Well, she sees him at the house first, like she freaks out, right?
Yeah.
Because they wanted their money, right? Because they thought they didn't think he was dead.
Yeah.
Okay, so they thought he was dead, and then did she say that he's in the hospital, or is that why they leave?
So that's why I didn't know if I skipped that part, the zoo part. But yeah, so he's at the hospital right now, and they think, oh my God, why don't we just go there to get the money? Because she said he's still alive. Right. Okay. So then they think, oh, I got to go finish the job. So their job is to go to the hospital.
But didn't she notice that, they're still going after the wrong person? Like, didn't she stop them, like, at all? Like, she really...
No, she didn't. Yeah, it was almost like she didn't want to get caught. Because obviously it seems like she is just beautiful. She has nothing. Teddy's family has all the money. And we find out, obviously, Teddy's mom is the one with really all the money. But, which is weird. That's a whole weird thing we'll get to later in the movie. Yeah, so now their joke writing's so good. But when they're going like, oh, how do we get into the hospital? And they see the two doctors and the nurse walk in. I love that they go in there, and then you see Larry trying to run for his life, and the nurse is pulling him back in.
And Sasso was it Sasso the doctor? What was Sasso?
No, Sasso was a nurse too. He could have been a female
doctor.
He's
walking around with a skirt, right? Didn't he have a skirt on? He had
a wig. So he had a wig and lipstick.
So they gave the biggest guy. I mean, he's huge next to the other two, and he's walking around with a skirt and a wig. Oh, and the guy's flirting with him. The guy at the desk. That
Curly's trying to flirt back too a little bit.
That happens in every movie. Like when the guy dresses up, and the other person behind the desk always thinks it's
Kurt
like
Russell,
for some reason
Tango and Cash.
Yeah. And Kurt Russell was an ugly woman. Like it's always it's like they're flirting with the ugliest woman possible. Because it's not like they're flirting because they know it's a man. They're flirting because it's a woman. It's a big woman, and he liked that.
Yeah. And then we get Bob Shaye's wife. I'm trying to think who put this movie out. Was it New Line? But Bob Shaye's he runs New Line, and his sister. I'm pretty sure his sister's in the movie. She plays the nurse. She's in a ton of stuff. She's in all the Farrelly Brothers movies too. There's something about Mary. She's the one making out with her dog that has all the. She's super tan.
Oh yeah.
She's
Magda,
in. Yes, and she makes out with in Kingpin. Yep. She's the one with the nasty teeth. So
she does a lot of makeout scenes.
She does. Yeah. Her brother really hooks her up. How about and then the babies? So now the room that they choose to go into was the nursery, and they're just getting pissed on. and they're ricocheting it to each other's
okay.
faces.
I mean, this scene.
There's your gross scene you were looking for.
I was just gonna say that this is a typical Farrelly Brothers scene because it was so absurd. It was so like the amount of pee in this scene was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's like the Family Guy thing when Peter falls down, you're like for like 10 minutes long. This scene, like it was, and it went on so long of just it became a game to them. Like it became a game. Like they were having wars. They were picking up babies and aiming at each other.
It was the Wild West. They were using it like revolvers. It was like
so these kids just pee nonstop. Like there's no stopping. Like there's some
yeah. They're loaded up already. Yeah.
I mean, it was literally like it was like a running hose. Like that. The three kids they were using. It was just ridiculous. It was so like over the top. It was so funny. Like
dude, the end of it was amazing. The fact that he gives him the look and he drops it, he puts the baby on the ground and kicks it over like a gun.
Yeah, that's I totally forgot that was an absurd scene. So yeah, there it is. So let me ask you this: there was with the ironing room with the ladies ironing with the ironing like the uniforms. Do hospitals have an ironing room? I don't think so. I don't think so. Like because they had like 4 women just ironing the same thing over and over again.
Hey, what a waste of space and what a waste of salary. You're paying these women to do what a dryer does for the most part. You don't need everything to be perfect.
No, you know in most hospitals, and again, unless let me know if there's any doctors or nurses listening, but they take all the uniforms, they throw it in the washing machine, they throw it in the dryer, and they hand it back out. That's it. Yeah. They're not pressing it, they're not ironing it, but somehow for some reason these 3 women were ironing all the clothes.
So just before he gets into that room is when they find Craig Burko. They get distracted, so they give him like a few minutes. He's able to sneak out. And when Mo and they knock over the cop in that room, the ironing room, and he thinks the guy's like dead, he goes paddle. He grabs 2 irons. He puts iron marks on his chest.
Okay, so now Mo is smart enough to know that they need something like that. There's a way to revive someone. So, but he's not smart enough to know that
is true,
you can't use irons, right? I mean, like he's got some brains there, but then something happens. There's some faulty wires that are going on that he thinks that irons are okay to use.
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't know that those are not the same thing, and they're not even close.
Not even
there's
close.
Probably.
If you think about it, it makes sense. It's kind of the same shape, and I mean, obviously not the same shape, but like you could bang them together and push it down. But I just thought like he comes up with these smart ideas, and then he blows it by going so opposite way that that he's smart but dumb at the same time.
Yeah. I don't know what this was because I watched this over the last like 10 days. And then I got sick, and so I wrote the dummies they used for the jump. Where did they jump from? Did they jump from the hospital? I remember it being really fun. I wrote down how funny it was, but I forgot what it was around.
They weren't even hiding that they were dummies. Like they literally like that. I mean, I guess that's the gag, but it was just so ridiculous. I'm trying to see where because I wrote it down too. The did they jump from the window? Was that?
Yeah, it must have been. It was like the end of that scene. That was them getting out. And then that's when they run into Teddy. And Teddy invites him over.
Right. Okay. All right. And now, is he in a full body cast at this point?
Is he? Craig Burko? No.
Yeah.
No. After, that's when he gets mauled by a lion. Then he's in a full body cast.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
You know what a really funny bit in this movie was? And it was like, it was so stupid when it first started, and I couldn't stop laughing because the interactions was when they're like, we got to become farmers. And they're salmon farmers. I think.
Oh, boy. I mean, see, did I miss something of why they're farming fish?
Well, they said we should become farmers, and one of them said, yeah.
It was
just out of nowhere. How did they get the money to buy all those salmon?
Okay. Where'd they get all the salmon?
That's what I mean.
So So I thought I missed something of why they pick a fish. It was just a
No.
random, like the most random thing. Like,
It's a random bit. Yeah.
see, that, again, then that's creative writing. Like, who would think fish farming? Like, no one would ever think that, in a million years. Like, and again, on a golf course.
Yeah.
Like when you find out that when the camera zooms out and you find out they're on a golf course, because it looks like they're on a corner somewhere, like, in the city.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just funny they had the smart enough idea to be like, I've heard of fish farming, which is like the big warehouses that have the water in it, and they just have the salmon in like a controlled thing. But then they put it on their head. I think this is what I should do: buy the salmon, which is probably so expensive to buy
with no money,
salmon.
with no money.
No
don't
money.
forget.
We're paying $7, $8, $10 a pound. Those things probably weigh 10 to 20 pounds, and they're able to shell out that much money. Crazy.
See,
Like,
I
insane.
want to see like the deleted scenes of them getting the fish.
Yeah.
Like, how did they get the fish? I want to see that scene. Did they go to a fishing boat and like, but again, like I said before, Mo, like, so they have the brains because they have the good idea to do things. It's just that they can't capitalize on the stuff they want to do. And I think that's the problem. Like, they have all these great ideas. Curly has great ideas, but then they can't figure out the proper way to do, make that idea happen.
Yeah. No, they can get it like the first half. They can write the idea down, but it's the execution is what they can't figure out.
Correct.
Damn, dude.
Okay.
And they're arguing with the golfers, and they're screaming back
Oh
and
my
forth
gosh.
at each other.
Amazing.
And then they're really like, this is like when they're getting kind of pissed at each other. And this is where they start arguing. They're like yelling at each other in an alleyway, and they bump through the door. They continue to argue.
Okay. So when they bumped in that door in that alleyway, I was waiting to hear the Blue Oyster music.
Oh,
Because that's such a typical like alley that was in every police academy, and the door that they, that I thought they were going to be in like in that kind of bar. I was like waiting for that.
But yeah, when they go in there and it's dark and then it lights up, I think that's even the funnier joke about it, that it's being the Jersey Shore, was they made it seem like, oh my God, this is theater. This is a theater actor. The way the lights went on and we see the guy from the Old Spice commercials. Look over here. Look at here. Like that guy. He's the director in this movie. And it was like, Mo, you are going to be our star. And it's like this big thing. You think he's going to be in some fancy play or something. It's like, oh no, Three Stooges. Jersey Shore. That's where he's going to go.
See, I didn't like this part. I thought this, like, them ending up on stage and like it, like, and then just taking Mo, like, I don't know. Like, to me, this is where the movie kind of goes a little south. Because it's obviously this is the start of the whole Jersey Shore thing and Mo leaving, and I just think, like, again, it to me it didn't work. Again, I'm watching a Three Stooges movie. I want to see a Three Stooges movie. I don't want to see
them all together,
Mo
not them
leaving and then
away
the other
for so long,
two. Yeah, I mean, so like I feel like this is kind of where it kind of changed for me, and it just wasn't the same.
Yeah, no, I could see that. It was just good, maybe seeing, because it is very rare that it ever happened in the show. You're right. Like, it's always them together. So maybe if they would have had him like go for not too long to show like, hey, we need to be together the whole time. But no, I could see that. But one thing I wrote down, I wrote the orphanage should close. These grown men can't sell cream when they were selling ice cream outside the zoo. And I love that, again, you talked about this before, like they are definitely resourceful. But they have like they lack that, like, what could happen, like consequences.
That's what I mean.
Like going
they
to a zoo.
They have the creative ideas, they just can't capitalize on it.
Yeah.
And it's like almost giving like a blueprint, an engineer blueprint to like a kindergartner, and try to figure it out, and let the kindergartner like, figure out what to do with the plans. And that's their action to the ideas. Is they have no clue. They're looking at it, as a kindergarten would look at it and say, all right, let's do this. Because you think about it, they were outside the zoo. So a lot of people are walking by. So they had great location for it. Like, it was like, but are you going to buy ice cream for someone that can't spell cream?
And what was it? It wasn't even really ice cream.
No, it wasn't ice cream. It was.
What do you say what it was? Not sour cream, was it?
I don't know.
It was something
like. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because what his lunch was right after that.
Oh, you mean
the
swimming? stealing the fish from the seals, and
He
then
had
being in the
fish scales. Yeah, he was holding the fish.
that was cool. Like Heathcliff when Heathcliff used to eat a fish. Yeah, I thought that was really hilarious. How like silly looking that look, how cartoonish.
Yeah.
That was
But
really cool.
that's perfect. I mean, that's, again,
Yeah.
we needed that Curly. Like, when Mo's gone, we need like silliness of Curly. And again, without like, to me, like I said before, if you get rid of one of the Stooges, it's not the same. So Curly and Larry, it really wasn't a lot of funny. I mean, like, they had the lines here and there, but it was missing something, right? You need two of them. I mean, all three of them to really make it work.
Yeah.
But I feel like I think Larry is the most expendable. I think if you had Curly and Mo, it's like, roommates that just fight all the time. That would work. I think Larry and Curly just don't work.
So you kill Larry. So which
Kill
one
Larry.
would you marry? Which one would you?
I would marry Curly.
Oh, really? And F Mo?
Hey, Mo's probably wild. He's angry.
Yeah,
he's angry.
He's very bossy.
He'll be like slapping and choking and like, he's.
He'd be real. You're gonna sit down right now, okay? I'm gonna do a lot of the work, okay? See? Okay. Sure.
That was a good Mo impression.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So how about the fact that Sofia Vergara now like needs these three guys dead? Like, and it doesn't matter. It's like now she needs it now so bad that they can't just like go in the zoo. They have to sneak in. She's strong enough to boost him up, and she pushes him right into the lions, right in the lion's cage.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, again, talk about resourceful. How are they able to sneak into everything they do?
Yeah,
because they
not get caught. When they be like, "Hey, there's that guy stealing the fish from the seal," nobody says nothing.
And they're not that stealthy. I mean, they're clumsy.
No.
And they're not, and somehow they get away with everything. They're somehow able to get through. Like I said, they had no money, yet they're able to go everywhere they want, travel without paying anything. Like, they're very resourceful.
Yeah. And then maybe people just feel bad for him because it's not like they blend out. It's not like it's like, oh, what'd that guy look like? It's like, oh, the guy that has like, looks like he has a sunny side up egg on his head. And the other guy's fat and he's making all these animal sounds. To be easy to pick them out of a lineup.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I think, there's definitely a lot of Curlies. I mean, a lot of Curlies out there. I mean, you go to any football game, you're going to see a lot of Curlies.
Curlies, yeah.
I mean, Larry's, not so much. I mean, that outside of going to a circus, you're not going to see any Larrys. But Curlies, you go to any football game, they're buying hot dogs and drinking beer. So
I do like how, so Craig Burko is in the lion. He's in like the lion cage, and like he sees the two kids that give the look like, oh my god, you're in trouble, and then the chain's not long enough, and then he's kind of giving shit to the lion, which is like,
okay, why
like,
and again, you see that with like someone with a dog, that's on a chain, like I think you push your luck a little too much. Like, what was it like? He wasted so much time in there that, I mean, it's so ridiculous.
And then I love the way it gets, the fact that, again, these two men are sneaking into the zoo, stealing stuff, and they're able to throw peanuts at dolphin?
Do you think, first of all, I thought of Seinfeld right away when the peanut went in. But like, I don't think they look at it as stealing. I think they're so clueless they think that anything they want, like they can just take, and like everybody's so happy for them to grab whatever they want. Like, I don't think they have a mean bone in their body, except for Mo. Like, I think they're, I definitely think Curly and Larry are very passive, and I just think they're naive, and I don't think they're stealing. But yeah, I mean, yeah, and how many times do you think you got to throw? How many peanuts do you think you got to throw to land one into the blowhole of a dolphin?
To perfectly lodge it that they're to the point that they're gonna turn it into a weapon and hit a lion so hard that it's strong enough to break a chain.
I mean, I would think that you give me 1,000,000 peanuts, I'm not making it once.
No, not at all.
Okay,
like insanity. But no, that was a funny scene. Like, Craig Burko is really funny. Like, we covered him in Scary Movie 4. And he was funny in that movie. Yeah. Like, again, that type of comedy. Like, he's good in like this silly like slapsticky role.
Well, I think it's funny because like the movie, became really him versus the Stooges. Like that was the second half of the movie is basically them, he's trying to avoid them at first before Sofia Vergara makes him try to kill them. But like it was, and the Stooges are just so like naive about what this whole situation. So like it really became a movie between them two, which was funny, Yeah, no, that was good.
So they're worried. They're like, "Where's Mo?" Like at this point is when Mo went on the Jersey Shore, and at the same time, Curly and Larry are like, "Oh, maybe he's back at the orphanage." So they go back to their orphanage. They find out some lowdown on everything from Larry David. We find out Murph's still there, which is insane. That like there's not hospitals for her. She's not doing good.
Did they say what was wrong with her?
No. But what was her friend's name? Was it like Skeeter? Because remember his brother's name was Peter? It was like Peter and Skeeter.
Well, you thought it was like Peter and Skeeter?
No, there were two names that rhymed. I don't know what they were, but they were like, oh yeah, dude. It was like Tweeter. Like it was something ridiculous.
So you're going to stick with the Peter rhyme. So it's either Tweeter, Peter, Skeeter.
It's definitely rhymers. It's definitely rhyming.
Okay. All right. Well, you said Tweeter and Skeeter.
Tweeter and Skeeter. Look, it's got to be the kid's a very popular role in this movie. No. Oh, the Jersey Shore cast gets ahead of them on the credits.
Gosh.
Wait, it's got to be Ernie. Peaser. I'm sorry, Peaser.
Okay, Peaser and Weezer.
And
is it
was it Weezer?
Ebenezer?
That'd be great.
That'd be
Peaser and Weezer.
See,
Peaser's a good actor. He was in a few things. I was pretty close, but so we find that out. And how about
you know what? But think about the girl.
Yeah.
So she looks like she's on death's row, like she's gonna die. I mean, like throughout this whole
they think
like
she's gonna die. She makes them leave because she can't have strength to talk.
Correct.
And then Larry David's phone goes off. It's the flatline sound.
And I didn't see one nurse the entire movie at the orphanage. So there's not one nurse So who's taking care of this girl? Weezer or Neezer or Weezer? Weezer is. Weezer is.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. So now they really got to fix this. They're like, oh my God, we gotta go find Mo because they see Mo on the TV. So then they go down to the Jersey Shore.
Hold on. How do they even know how to get there or where to go?
That's a great question.
Okay.
I just read the one line. So after this is when they want to go visit Teddy and ask Teddy for money for the orphanage. And when they go to the secretary and she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but the Clown College is on the 9th.
Did they go see the lawyer yet? Was it the lawyer?
Yeah, this is it. That's what I mean. They're at the lawyer.
Did you see his name?
No. What was his name?
Oh, you didn't see his name? So
No.
his first name is Kickham. So Kickham. Last name is Harder. Harter. Kickham Harder. That was the lawyer's name.
That's amazing.
Okay.
But his first line to them was great too. He goes, "I'll take the case."
Hold on. Wait a second. I'm sorry. It was 3 lawyers. So it was Kickham, Harder, and Inda, Inda, Groyne, in the groin. So it was Kickham, Harder, and in the groin.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Oh man, and he seems like a real sleazy lawyer. He's like, "I'll take the case. Please tell me Supercuts did that to you." So Supercuts gets a dig. That's a pretty serious dig to have in a movie, To have it's like, hey, Larry's haircut was done at Supercuts. Like, that's how bad it is.
Well, I don't know if this is where his hair gets smaller or not, but maybe he does go to Supercuts because, like I said, it does shrink a little bit. It went from like Albert Einstein to like Kramer.
Yeah.
Like it went low. So yeah.
And this, I'm sorry, I misspoke before. It's only Curly and Larry that go to visit them. This is when they're like, "Oh, we have to go to the Jersey Shore," and that's when they go together. And when they get there, it's really funny. Like Curly flirting with JWoww because she was like the sexy girl of the show, and they're like making eyes at each other. But Mo just doing all those bits to all those people. Just think about them. Like their day, they went from like getting drunk on the boardwalk in Point Pleasant to just like in this movie doing it's
they
really
were getting
silly.
I think they were getting like $1 million an episode. I mean, that's
Yeah, it was
insane.
insane.
Like, so, you know, like to me, for more promotion with them in a movie made them still be around today. So if they weren't in this movie, maybe they were going on their way out. But this movie revved them back up, and now they're here for, and they don't seem to be going anywhere.
Yeah,
So,
I think he pulled nose hair from Sammy's Sweetheart.
he did.
He did that bit to
He
one
did.
of them.
He did. Well, he wanted to keep something to remember her by.
That's
You know what,
Oh
though?
my
It would have been
God.
funny if she did it to him.
yeah.
See, that would have been good.
And they fall in love. That would have been the ending.
See?
Curly and
Yeah.
Mo and Sammy's Sweetheart.
Yeah.
And I love even when Mo was talking about Snooki and he was like, "Give me a Snook." Like, amazing. They could be together. I could see that. Mo and Snooki.
Oh, ridiculous. No, I see
That's
Snooki with Curly.
Snooki and Curly. Okay. So now, the director's oh my God, there's more of you? There's 2 others like you? And again, their social awareness and not realizing how society works. Maybe that they just didn't learn that. Maybe they never left the orphanage and went with normal people. But like the way they're eating and just like the way they touch everything it's
almost like
ridiculous.
they were like frozen cavemen who were defrosted, you know, millions of years later to present day, and they don't know. They've never seen a TV. They've never seen. They've had no
Never.
education, and they don't know how to respond in the public because that's how they act. You know. So again,
Yeah.
you wonder why the orphanage is going under is because they don't do anything there. They don't help these kids at all.
Nobody wants to adopt these people because they don't know. They can't
don't know.
read.
Not for nothing. That's the same kids that are still there. One kid got adopted the entire time. No one else has come there. So yeah. Okay.
Oh my God. So now at this point, another really funny joke that I probably always remember, and I wish I could add that clip to play right now. But when Mo he goes, because he's annoyed by everyone, and he goes, "What did I tell you about puns?" And then he puts a lobster in Larry's pants. Just like those lines. I think that's why I appreciate those old ones. Because there's sometimes it's like, you know what? Maybe the perfect joke doesn't have to be here, but just even something like that. Hitting with the hammer in the face. Oh, yeah? What do you think about this?
See, that's all old school. And it's almost like the Three Stooges are almost like Harpo, where like Harpo could reach into his pocket and pull out anything. Like he has those magic pockets that literally he'll pull out a ladder out of his pocket, you know, and it goes. And so it seems like the Three Stooges have the same kind of magic powers because again, where's he getting a lobster from? So he just reaches out and you know they'll have a mallet out of the blue. They'll find something somehow they're holding onto something somewhere. So yeah.
And then the twist of the movie, I didn't really see this coming. But man, what a creep to Seventh Heaven Dad. He was going to take his he stole his adopted son's fiance. That's wild.
Yeah. I didn't see that coming at all. So, I mean, that's, you know.
That's like investigation, discovery, or like Dateline. No, it's crazy.
Well,
He's going to kill everyone.
Let's be honest, though. I mean, she definitely fit more with him than the other guy.
Oh, 100%.
So, I mean, you know.
Teddy was very nerdy and dorky.
They're very nerdy and
at
young.
This point,
like,
he was like, "Oh, this is my party." Yeah, why am I still in my pajamas? It's my party. Wouldn't the people there be like, "Hey, isn't his party going on right now?"
I was just saying, anyone asked where Teddy is? Is anyone asked where Teddy is? Like,
not like have him fall in the pool and drown. It's like we're gonna poison him during the party, so nobody's gonna see him at all.
So they know it's not a surprise party because they're going to the house where Teddy's at. No one comes here to say, "Hey, where's Teddy?" Like as they come in to say hi to Teddy, like because if you go downstairs, the party's going on like it's been going on for a couple hours.
Yeah.
So it's been a couple hours and no one's seen Teddy. It's only Teddy's party by name.
Yeah. He's sleeping and drugged. Hey, what's going on? And he's like so like shocked about everything.
Oh, he's sleeping and drunk. It's almost like a Diddy party. Too soon?
No, I think that's good, perfectly on time.
Okay, all right.
I love that they have guns, and it's like, oh man, these guns. We're gonna point them at you. I'm gonna shoot you, and then I know a rat. They see Curly's rat, and they panic and they freak out.
Where are they holding this rat this whole time? Like, because I mean, if you think about it, they've done like, I don't know if this is all taking place in like 2 days, 1 day, or whatever. But like, they've been on a lot of hijinks. You didn't see the rat. So where's the rat been this whole time?
in his inside pocket. Yeah, we saw the rat once earlier in the movie,
beginning.
but I feel like when it was when they were working on the roof.
Yeah. That's it. Like,
That's
it was
crazy.
no other. Yeah. Okay.
Dude, the next scene is ridiculous.
Wait, the balloons? Is this the balloons?
The
Oh
fart.
my gosh.
Oh no, I don't know. Did I write about the balloons when they stuck into the party with the balloons?
No, that's what I'm saying. So I that's what
that
like,
happened
again,
already.
Talk about resourcing. Where did they get all those balloons from?
No, where they did, and I love that they give it to one little girl, and she's floating in the sky.
Well, you knew that was happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think this also happened when was there like a large woman at one point, and I think Mo was someone who called her Jumbotron. I think it was like Mo called her
yes, Mo calls her Jumbotron. Yes, he does.
Move out of the way, Jumbotron.
That was good.
And
oh man,
was it like, I think, was it Sofia Vergara goes, "Oh, the three idiots are here." And you remember what he said? Oh, the Kardashians?
Oh yeah, Craig Bergo. Yeah, the correct. Yeah, that's another time joke. Even though they're still in, but if it would have been some other show, like if they made a reference in a movie like this, I know the show was on before this, but like John and Kate +8, I feel like no people, unless you were around then, would understand it. But at least they're lucky that like Jersey Shore had staying power, and now it's like in the ethos forever because it's been on. The show's been on for 15 years. They still go on family vacations every year.
I know. I just can't. Like, again, it's like, to me, the Kardashian joke is funny.
It was the most popular show that I never had interest in watching. It's insane.
I'm gonna say that I watched the first like bunch of seasons. I did.
I remember you guys watched it. I remember
it was such a train
watch
wreck
party at my house I rented with my buddies, and I'd be like, "What are we doing?"
It was a train wreck. I think I watched up until they went on vacation to Europe, and I'm like, all right, I'm done. Like, now they're going to Europe.
They went to Italy?
They went to Italy, or something. I think so. Or Paris, whatever. But I mean, I did watch the first few seasons. I wanted to see what kind of fights and stupid. Again, I watched The Real World. I watched the challenge. So I did watch those kind of things. But it got to a point where, like, all right, I'm done now. And now you're watching it. They have kids. Like, really?
I know.
So I want. I mean,
they're like, I'm sober 7 years, and it's like, I don't want to watch you. You're boring.
I don't want to see that. We want to see when you're a train wreck. We don't want to see when you're all clean and a nice person.
You gotta do like an hour of civilized conversations and
gosh.
shopping. Who wants to watch that?
I can do that when I go home. All right.
But how about like Curly? Like when he farts, okay?
Oh my God.
This is like when this is the car flips over. What are they stuck in?
No. So no, they all squeeze in the car.
Oh yeah. That's
so they all. So
they're
like
pointing the gun. That's when the rat, and then that's when they freak
Correct.
out. Yeah, that's.
But they're all.
Yeah.
But they decide to go all in one car. So everybody's sitting out. I mean, everybody's face is next to each other, and like So Curly farts in the car with the windows up.
Well, this is after they flipped over, and then he lights it, and it pops.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well,
because they crash off the road when they see the rat. Craig Berko crashes into the water.
But did he? Oh, so he farted when they were upside down.
They were in the water because you heard the.
You're right. See the bubbles.
And then they light, and then he goes, "Does anybody have a lighter?" And he goes, "Nothing." I can't do a Larry voice, but it's like very whiny, and he's like, "Nothing but these 2 waterproof matches." And it's like, "Oh, okay." And he lights them, and then
you're right. Okay. Oh my God.
Oh my God, dude. But that's how they survived, lighting a fart on fire in an enclosed thing that somehow blows it up enough that the car like kind of flies. no damage to them.
No damage. They can get right out.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
man.
they're like, we're heroes. Teddy, we saved you. They were going to try to kill you, blah, blah, blah. So now can you help with the orphanage? And Teddy says what we've been thinking the whole time. No, that place is horrible. They let me go home with these terrible people. And they
Well,
weren't really
again,
nice.
it's one of those things where you're not expecting it. And, like, it's near the end of the movie. So, like, you're like, all right, Teddy's going to come to the rescue. He's going to pay for the money. And that's how they get their money back. And, yeah. And it made it sound like, at first, like, they were looking at him. And you could see, like, he paused for a second. Like, so he didn't answer right away. And then he comes with that. He goes, no.
That was really good. Oh, my God, dude. Now we cut to a few months later. The Stooges show up on their tandem bike. And they hear kids playing. They're like, oh, I wish we could just hear the sounds of children laughter. And they go over, they see like Dwight Howard's in this movie playing basketball with the kids. Kate Upton is wearing like lingerie as a bathing suit. She's a lifeguard.
Well,
Merv's
I
not sick
would
anymore.
think if nuns wore that more often, maybe more people go to church.
Oh, church would be packed. People were like fighting to get in. Can you imagine that? Oh my God, dude. Hey, what'd you do yesterday? Man, my day sucked. I couldn't get into church. I waited for an hour. You have to like get tickets. Like people are scalping for the different sections where the dress, scantily dressed the nuns.
Well, it would be a funny skip when you have like that guy. He goes like that's one church, and then the other church has other nuns doing the same thing, but they're like 80 years old.
Oh yeah, you have to go to church. It's like I gotta go to church, but if you have to go to the other one. Yeah. Okay, that's amazing. So then we find out how silly the end of the movie is again. But that's what the type of movies Farrelly Brothers and like the Three Stooges as a whole, that the directors are gonna pay for this, and the Jersey Shore kids
Oh my gosh.
put in for the down payment.
See, I think at this point they really had no idea how to end it. So like,
Yeah.
I feel like that the resolution of paying for the orphanage is to me that was lame. Like that was like it was like I mean I get I think there could have been a better way of like somehow almost like Dumb and Dumber, how like the bus pulls up with those models and like something like weird, like freaky happens that unexpected, and they get the money. To me, like the Jersey Shore putting them, they wouldn't. First of all, they would never have done that. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like they were like, all right, how do we end this? I don't know. Let's just take the easy way out.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Again, it's so difficult, but yeah. How else? Yeah, it's a comedy. It's like, how can we just end this movie? But it was like silly to have like, the Jersey Shore kid, they put the down payment down, but at least you have Teddy. Teddy's happy. He's with the secretary, who is obviously in love with him. Like earlier in an earlier scene, she's like, "Oh, she's so lucky," and they announce they're adopting, and then this is where we get the callback to Weezer, and it's like Murph doesn't want to leave without Weezer, but then oh no, I don't want to leave without. You mean Weezer? And Weezer's waiting for them down the thing.
So so the both brothers were there.
They picked up the other brother first. They picked up Weezer first.
Who's the one that was by her bedside? Peezer or Weezer?
That Peezer.
Okay.
Peezer was a Max Charles, the actor.
Okay.
But yeah, dude, it's just so silly.
So now, so they're still continuing to live there, but like now party scene. See, why didn't Eddie adopt them?
Teddy? Oh no, that's what he thought. That's what
Teddy.
Yeah, that's what they kind of asked him. That would have been really funny if they did adopt him. That would have been good. Or if you had to call back to that scene when it's like, "Hey guys, come here. Can you guys tell them we're gonna adopt them?"
that would have been good. Yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, man. And then I love that it's over. And you get an even funnier bit with like when Antonio Sabato, with him and I didn't know who the other guy was. I didn't look him up, but Antonio Sabato's Bob Farrelly, and really funny, dude. Watching them use all the different gags, and it was really cool.
Well, they made a music video
right after that. Did I turn it off? There was music after that.
It was a shame. It's a song. It's a shame. I think and you have like different it was like they made like I think it was during the credits. But yeah, the
Oh,
Three
I need to watch
Stooges.
more of it. I just saw when Antonio Sabato and the other guy were talking, and then I thought it was over.
No, there's I mean I think it went a little long, but it was all like they were like dancing and like it was
funny.
like a music video. Yeah,
that's cool. I gotta go back and check it out. But so Three Stooges, Jamie. I honestly going into this, I was like, because I know you're kind of, even though we're the good, the bad, and the sequel, you are kind of a purist when it comes to some movies. You enjoy the first ones. But how did you like? Would you recommend somebody to watch Three Stooges?
So I'm gonna say yes. I think you have to see it if you're a fan of the Three Stooges, you have to watch it. Because there are silly gags. I think Will Sasso crushes it. And so just to see him as Curly, I think the three kids in the beginning, absolutely, I would have watched the movie of them. Just again, the hijinks these three kids would have gotten into, I think would have been great. But in fact, it is a Three Stooges. It's a silly movie. I don't agree with the second half. But it's still worth watching. If you're a Three Stooges fan. I don't know if you're gonna watch it more than once. Unless you watch it like years later, like I did. But it's not terrible. So I think the reviews that they've gotten, I think they don't deserve it. I think they could have picked better Mo and Larry. I don't know who. I would, like I said, I think the Sean Penn, I think he would have crushed Larry. I don't know about.
I love
Mo.
I thought Mo. I thought Mo doing it, but I think I agree with what you said. Like Curly was too good. Like Will Sasso was like too good that you saw the stark difference because he was almost like a shot for shot remake, which you would think would be impossible.
His mannerisms, his sound, like his look, like he was Curly, and I think that again, I think that's the problem. I think he outshined the other two, so he made it like it's almost like the other two were understudies to the other actors, right? Like they're not the ones that go on the play every night, but once in a while they get their shot to go in. Where Curly is the star, and I think that's what it was.
Yeah, no, I agree, but it was such a fun movie. It was really cool because it really made me think like, man, I gotta watch more Three Stooges. Like every so often, because they're 12, 15 minutes, just go back and watch. One gripe I have, and I know people that are listening or even people watching can't hear it because you can't see it because they don't show. We have these little things that we're record on Riverside .fm, and you can put like something under our names, and I wrote, wishes Shemp made a cameo. I wish Shemp was in this movie.
Are you a Shemp fan?
Oh, Shemp's funny. Shemp was the ladies' man. He was really good, dude.
Again,
not the same as Curly, but it was good.
No, I know.
It was a good change.
See, here's my problem with that. Again, it's like replacing Kramer with someone else, right? Like you can't do that.
No, it's impossible.
So it's hard to watch Three Stooges without Curly and just seeing Shemp because the humor is not the same. So I'm not a Shemp fan. He's in a few Abbott and Costello movies. Shemp.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think in the Navy or something, or in the Army, one of those. But yeah, I mean, so I'm not a Shemp fan, but if you are going to do the Three Stooges, you should have thrown Shemp in there.
Yeah, it would have been nice. I love how he was always really sweaty, and he did a great like he'd be doing something, like he'd be doing a regular task, and then you notice he's doing it wrong. You're like, you're doing really good, like triple take. It was so good, but so I'm happy we got to cover that one. That was cool. So next up is one movie that we started chatting with this actress, almost like a year and a half ago, and then we couldn't connect on times. Then things happened back and forth, things go into spam. But I'm happy we connected with her. That's actress Monika Schnarre, actress model. She was one of the youngest girls ever win the International Ford Modeling Agency competition at the age of 14. Then in 15, she's in Sports Illustrated. So we talked about that, like how weird that is. Even now, she thinks about like being 15 years old, being in a swimsuit on a beach, like with all these other models, and that we talk about her film work. And for her, we're going to be talking about she has some really good sequel choices, but just because of the cast, we got to go with Turbulence 3 Heavy Metal. It's got Craig Schaefer, who we covered before in the Hellraiser police detective sequel with Nicky Turturro, but also as Joe Mantegna. So that'll be a lot of fun. And man, her movies, she was in like films like Waxwork 2. She had a small role in Junior. She plays a nurse. Really cool story about working with Arnold. And all the soaps. And she was in some of the cool TV shows that I love to ask people about. One was Friday the 13th, the series. That was her first project she worked on. And then also she was on Police Academy, the TV series. So it was a lot of fun. Monika was great. She's really happy that she did it. Oh yeah, and then that New Addams Family, she was on that series. I don't remember that one in 1998, but yeah. So it'll be a lot of fun. Turbulence 3. I remember the second one because that was on cable a lot.
Who was in the second
I don't
one?
remember the third one. I
You
don't
remember who's
remember.
in it?
I feel like Lauren Holly was in the second one. I feel like it was just her. Like there was
Right.
no other big names, but it should be cool. It looks ridiculous, which is what we love. So don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast. Follow us on all social media at Sequels Only. And don't forget to check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, guys.